Welcome to Cinema on a Shelf, a podcast about movies and physical media. My name is Matt, and thank you for spending some time with me instead of watching a movie. I promise I will try to make it worth your time. In today's episode, I am embarking on my second in the series of collector conversations for the channel. We today are getting a chance to chat with Philip Marinello from the Substance podcast. Philip has been doing his podcast for a number of years now. The tagline for the Substance podcast is starting conversations that aim to help us all better appreciate goodness, truth, and beauty. Now, Philip talks about a lot of different topics on his podcast, but one that he goes back to often is film and cinema and his appreciation of it in various capacities, whether it is going to the theater or local film festivals or doing deep dives on specific films, which he does on his Substantive Cinema episodes, which are how I discovered Philip originally. And he also is notable as a physical media collector, aficionado, someone that has been collecting for a long time. And this is what sort of sparked me to reach out to Philip and come on the podcast and have a little bit of a conversation about how he collects physical media. So got a chance to sit down with Philip, and we're going to get a chance to listen to that conversation right now. So I guess first of all, Philip, I'll start by saying welcome to being guest number 2 on the podcast for Collector Conversations. So thanks for taking the time this evening to come and chat with me. I guess I'll give you a chance right off the start to do a little bit of a self-introduction and bit about who you are and maybe a bit about your podcast and maybe how movies are part of what you do there.
Well, thanks, Matt. I appreciate that. For somebody who's been podcasting for a bit, and I've been podcasting since 2018, 2019, oh, wow. My elevator pitch really, I'm trying to get it better. But basically, you can find me. My show is called The Substance. We cover, and very rudely, Mubi never reached out when the movie
I was going to say,
several of my friends with bigger platforms. Movie reached out to us like, guys, the collab is right there for us.
Yeah.
But
so it used to be so easily Googleable, and now,
well, I'm sure it gave us a nice SEO hit. I'll take it. But so my show is called The Substance. We are a variety show, which may or may not be ill-advised. So we do a lot of film. We're very cinematically inclined over at The Substance, but we also just cover matters that are substantive. We have teachers, we have academics, we have artists, authors, activists, faith leaders, like people engaged in study or in their community or doing various things of truth or beauty or value to society. So we've had a lot of interesting people on, a wide variety of people on. I kind of say now that The Substance is kind of somewhere between Fresh Air and Film Spotting, if you guys are familiar with those. But yeah, we actually have had a few guests that have appeared on Fresh Air on our show, and we've had the host of Film Spotting on our show. So we have all sorts of people on. Sometimes they're my internet friends, sometimes they're semi-professional to professional film critics or journalists. If you're a movie podcast listener, like I said, we've had Josh Larson from Film Spotting, had Mike White from the Projection Booth, Dan McCoy from the Flophouse, a number of Letterboxd employees. Like, we try to get a wide variety of people and plenty of people in the film industry. Some people who you may or may not know, and some people who are up and coming that are very exciting. So that's us in a nutshell. We are creeping up on episode 200, and we're having a great time.
Yeah, that's awesome. I discovered The Substance through the Substantive Cinema kind of recurring.
As many do, and I'll take that.
That's right. Yeah, but it's you're right. You get a lot of very interesting discussions throughout the podcast.
We've had a few Canadians on recently too.
Hey, we like to see that. More Canadian representation is always welcome. Imagine. That's awesome. Yeah, it's great to hear. And obviously, you talked about cinema and movies being a thing that you talk about on your podcast, and in some of the more recent ones talk about being at Panic Fest, which I think is local to you. So
The greatest. Yeah, I'm based out of Kansas City. Beginning of every year, not the beginning, but like early in the year, in the spring, we have Panic Fest, and we wrapped ours up a little while ago, and we got our episode out, and it was a blast.
Yeah.
Every year it's great. This year was particularly wonderful. I'll say if it's coming to a festival near you or it's out on VOD, highly recommend. I'm going to shout out Frankie Maniac Woman. Just blew my socks off. And depending on what your vibe is, I'd say Lesions and Theater is Dead also just absolutely incredible.
Nice. Yeah, it was, I think it was, if I remember right, that it was happening about the same time as the Calgary Underground Film Festival that goes on here every year. Which
it was also literally the exact same time as Overlook. And I'm like, guys, why would you do that?
Keeping it local, I guess. But yeah, there was a little bit of crossover with some of the films that were here that I looked up at Panic Fest. But Lesions wasn't one, so I'm intrigued by that one.
So good. Lesions rocked. That was one that I had no expectations, and I was just like, and actually I had the opposite. Like, I had become friends with the director over the weekend of the festival. I was like, man, I really like this guy. I really hope his movie doesn't suck. And then I was like, wow, like, low key, and obviously I know lots of people are involved in the editing and all that stuff. I was like, this is kind of genius, because I'll just gush a little bit on his movie. So many things and ideas and tones in one movie, and he made it like he balanced them all perfectly, in my opinion.
Nice.
I thought it was really wonderful. I hope he gets to make movies for a very long time.
That's awesome. And I'm trying to, I think one of the things I'm trying to do a little bit, well, in the last few years, but this year I'm trying to step out of my own comfort zone and do a little more of the horror movie stuff, which is typically not fully in my lane, but trying to get more recommendations. So that one's definitely going on my personal list for sure. And obviously, I know you've had an episode not too long ago talking about physical media with Jeff Rousio from YouTube.
I did, yes,
as well, and that's kind of what I revolve my show around. And part of me discovering the substance and seeing you on some other podcasts and things talking about physical media, which is kind of why I wanted to reach out, because we definitely share a similar sickness, habit, however you want to call it.
Yeah, hobby. I mean, it's part of the hobby, right? Because there's plenty of cinephiles who don't own hundreds of Blu-rays.
Yes.
And who don't obsessively every month check all of the different labels, websites for their new release announcements. But yeah, no, it's a wonderful thing. And actually, I hadn't thought about it recently. I've been trying to guest on a lot of shows, and I have done 2 different physical media related shows in the last couple months. So this will be like, I love physical media so much. I've been doing more. I know you said you listened to the last few physical media corners on the episodes, because the fine folks over at MVD Entertainment, go buy movies from them, have been sending us stuff to review, and it's been a fun addition to the show. I've been wanting to do segments, and I'm like, I don't want to do segments for the sake of segments, but now they're sending us Blu-rays. I'm like, okay, physical media corner.
Good stuff. Yeah, it crosses over into there. That makes sense. Do you, in terms of like being a collector, do you know about how long you've been collecting physical media for?
Oh, I've been collecting physical media since I was a kid with those clamshell VHSs, man. But I went through several phases when I was in high school and had my own job and not my own bills. I would go to Circuit City and Walmart and Barnes and Noble and buy a bunch of movies almost weekly or bi-weekly. And then I think I was in college when the Criterion Barnes and Noble sales started, the 50% off. Right, so that was like somewhere between 15 and 20 years ago when those first started. And once those started, that like supercharged it again. And I've gone through purges, and you can see this is just some of my overflow stacks. I need to get better shelving space. But
I've got mine right behind me too. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been doing it for a long time, and
Hmm.
it goes through ups and downs. I got a house and a family and little kids, but
Hmm.
it's something I love, and not just because streaming is impermanent, but like a lot of these are things that I love. That one, like the streaming thing, yes, like you never know, like that could go away. Like you're
Hmm.
kind of the keepers of these traditions, but also like you can share them with other people when
Yeah.
you actually own them physically.
Yeah, I think I come from a similar kind of lens of it. Like I'm of an age where like the VHS, the video rental store, was kind of the king of my like small town that I grew up in because we didn't have a theater, so it was like, okay, when you want to watch a movie, either you caught it on TV and who knows whatever was getting run, or you went to the video store and waited 8 months after a movie came out in the theaters until you could rent it for a couple of days, or
I mean, I
even
was
the
also the kid back in the day of terrestrial television being a primary way before I could rent. I mean, I did go to the library a lot, so I did get a lot of things there, but
yeah.
I would also get the TV guide every week and see if there was anything I really wanted to see and plan my week around what was airing as well.
Yeah, yeah, that's a fun one too. And everybody kind of has. I know where I was from, there we sort of had like two very specific movie channels. One being Canadian, there's a shout out to to Super Channel, which doesn't exist anymore. But like that was the same thing. You just watch like, okay, what's on, and most of it I didn't know about, but we did get a few, especially American channels like TBS that did
Okay.
run a lot of movies.
The
Like they
same
would
10 movies over and
the
over.
same 10 movies, the perpetual like never-ending James Bond, we're gonna run
Yep.
everything all in a row. So yeah, there was a lot of that, but like going to the video store was like kind of a not a religious experience, but it was something like that you did more often than, I mean, I wasn't old enough to go buy groceries, so I wasn't going to the grocery store, but like I was there renting movies and video games a lot more often. Does that kind of, and if you were kind of in the similar age, is that something that you kind of like to either have around or try to rekindle or maybe do with your family a bit?
Oh, for sure. I mean, whenever we can, I own so many kids' movies on DVD and Blu-ray.
Hmm.
And yeah, whenever we can, we pop the discs in. We're taking our boys through some of the Disney classics and some just classic classics. And
Yep.
whenever we have the discs, because they're better,
Yep.
like they're at least like 3 to 4 times better, even with like 4K streaming,
Mhm.
which
Yeah.
quote unquote. Um, yeah, and also for people who love movies, I was a movie lover from a young age.
Hmm.
With the advent of DVD and then on with Laserdisc, Blu-ray, 4K, all that is the special features. Like that's another
Yeah.
great thing about owning it physically. Not only can you have a library of important cinema, art, like cultural objects of value, you also a lot of these have hours of behind the scenes and commentary
Hmm.
tracks and making ofs or directors early short films or what have you, and
Yeah.
there's so many, and I'm sure we'll get to that. Like there's so many, like right now, so many incredible labels putting so much love and effort, time and attention and skill and passion into these incredible releases that, I mean, as long as we have players that work, like I'm gonna be watching these like forever.
Yeah. Oh, totally. There's almost kind of never been a better time for it, even though we're coming off a period of it kind of waning, whether it's big marketplaces like Best Buy kind of getting rid of them. There's almost more avenues, more labels, more places to go like, hey, somebody's picking up, like if you like little seen crime films from Poland, there's probably somebody putting them out. It's like it's
Totally.
pretty
Well, I
cool.
think that also goes to like the studios. People are like, "Oh, physical media is dead." It's like studios putting out crappy DVDs and Blu-rays for like $25 to $40 with hardly any special features, no new art, nothing to like make it worth owning. When a lot
Hmm.
of the big like Disney stuff's on Disney Plus, Warner stuff's on HBO Max, Paramount stuff's on Paramount. Like if you're not putting like there's no reason to buy those. So that's why Walmart and Best Buy weren't moving units, because everybody's paying 10, 15, 20 bucks a month or whatever, borrowing their friends login.
Yeah.
And like they've cheapened all of that, but the boutiques are crushing it.
Yeah, they totally are. And I think you're even starting to see, at least I'm starting to see even a few big studios that are kind of like almost dipping their toes back in some ways. Like
I wish they would.
I know,
like
I've seen
there's
a lot
so
of
much
stuff.
money to be made there. Why would you not?
Yeah, like the amount of times I've now seen the one battle after another steelbook, the pictures of
It's
the people
wonderfully
getting it in.
designed steelbook, and word on the street is that's the one that actually has special features too.
Yeah, because I have the 4K of it that it has next to nothing, but I kind of wanted to get it because my wife and
Why
I
would
were
you
like, well,
do
we're gonna
that?
see it. Yeah,
Especially for something that is that high quality and impactful and award winning. Why was nobody on the set with the camera rolling, like B-roll and doing interviews? Like, why is there not like a 30? Every disc should have a commentary and like a 30-minute making of, like, minimum.
Yeah, even if they're doing, and I think there's a few places like A24 and Neon that are starting to do that for their own films. Of like, hey, we're gonna put this out and it's gonna be streaming somewhere, but like, here's this cool limited edition of like no other choice.
A24 is Neon. I have a bone to pick with them. I did see the No Other Choice looks very cool, but so many of Neon's are bare bones, and that's really annoying to me because they make amazing films, and then there's like, oh, a 5-minute BS fluff like featurette.
Yeah,
and it's like, what is that?
Makes me wonder if they're thinking about it more, like if they're trying a few of these, because I think there's been a few Park Chan-wooks that they've had that have been like these like little limited editions, and maybe they're testing the waters. I don't know. A24 has fully jumped headfirst.
Those editions are amazing too. I don't know if we're gonna get to this. Did you? Oh, maybe it's different in Canada, because I know sometimes the Criterion sales are. A lot of my Canadian friends rightfully complain about that. Was the recent Neon sale applicable to you guys as well? The buy one get two free on Neon's website.
Oh, I know they were doing a sale, but I didn't actually get a chance to see if they would. I looked through it to see what was available, but I didn't see.
It's their whole site, not just movies, like merch. Everything is buy one get two free.
Yeah. The only thing that sometimes they'll run with those, and you run into it with the Criterion sale. So when Barnes & Noble, like when they started it, I used to be buying stuff all the time because they would just ship it over the border, and that's fine. At some point in time, there's another company in Canada that also has a deal with Criterion to sort of be their Canadian marketplace, and you can get them on Amazon too. But the Barnes & Noble has, for the most part, stopped shipping the Criterion stuff on their 50% off sale to Canada, which is unfortunate. And sometimes they'll let it through. Like there's kind of no rhyme or reason to it. And some of their other sales too, like the Arrow stuff, sometimes it goes through, sometimes it doesn't. I bought a bunch of stuff from the Radiance 50% off sale from Barnes & Noble when they
Barnes & Noble, I feel like every month darn near has a 50% off deal. Like the OCN Vinegar Syndrome stuff right now is crazy.
Yeah.
I'm so glad those are in stores now. I
know. And I actually order quite a bit of stuff from OCN and Vinegar. I'm a big Canadian International Pictures
So you like okay. I got a couple of those. I wonder, I forgot which ones I got because I just heard that they were good. Say you're a Vinegar Syndrome fan, but not a horror guy. But Canadian International. Their sublabels are amazing.
They are, and they've just so much of the stuff. I have stuff from like Factory 25 and Utopia and a bunch of their sublabels that do fit a little more into there. I did an episode of the podcast about like a label discovery about Vinegar Syndrome because I was like, okay, I'm gonna actually. The only one I had in my collection was Existenz, the David Cronenberg one, which I got before it sold out, and so I purposely like picked a couple more that I was like, okay, one of the sales.
Being a good Canadian supporting Cronenberg.
Right. Absolutely. But I picked up a couple more because I'm like, yeah, I want to branch out a little bit. And like, they do such a good job visually and packaging and the extra features they have on it. And I mean, I'm not a VHS collector. They do also dip their toes into some funny like editions on VHS too, which
I have gotten into that, but I've hardly bought any of the new ones because those are all very pricey for a
Yes.
VHS tape. I'm not doing that. I'm holding out for garage sales and thrift stores or estate sales or Facebook marketplaces. I'm not going to spend $45 for a new VHS.
Yeah, that's completely completely understandable for sure. Even though some of those can go for prices too. Do you do a lot of like VHS? Do you go even earlier than that? Are you a Laserdisc guy? Do you go even further?
So I don't have a Laserdisc player. There are a few Laserdiscs that like I have a mental list of that if I ever see out in the wild, like I would absolutely grab. Some for the art, some for the special features, some just because I love them and would like to have them in my collection if I ever found a good Laserdisc player.
Yeah.
But no, I don't collect Laserdisc. I did win last year. No, it was 2 years ago because it was 74. 2 years ago, my local theater did a screening for the 50th anniversary of Texas Chainsaw, and I won a Betamax tape of Texas Chainsaw 2.
Oh wow.
So that's the only beta tape I own. But no,
I mean, that's a fun one to
it's
put on the shelf.
VHS and DVD, Blu-ray, 4K.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I kind of do a lot of the same thing. I've never had a Laserdisc player, but I have a very distinct memory of doing like film studies classes in my university option credits. And this one story that stands out to me because I'm like, only a Laserdisc player would do this, but it was just kind of as DVD was about to come in the early 2000s. And one of my film studies professors put Psycho on the syllabus, and the poor TA didn't know how to use a Laserdisc player. So she ran the second half of Psycho first, and then it flipped over automatically and played the first half. And there were so many kids in that screening that they'd never seen Psycho before. And I was
That's hilarious.
Oh, no. So at least we don't have to worry about that these days with any of the modern formats, or VHS for that matter. So you talked about doing like a lot of garage sales and thrift stores, estate sales. How do you typically, like, do you have a lot locally in Kansas City as far as places you'll go to look for physical media?
We do, but I mean, again, I've got a job and 2 young children. I don't do that a lot. I check Facebook Marketplace every now and then. And with my job, I'm a bit of a road warrior, so I do get to drive around a lot. So sometimes I'll pop into thrift stores here and there for 10 minutes and I'll scan the shelves for anything good. Don't usually find stuff, but every now and then it's somebody passed away or somebody's kids were cleaning out the thing and you get a bunch of cool stuff. Like, one time I got a ton of like martial arts, action, Hong Kong cinema. Nice. Where I was like, oh, somebody was clearing out somebody else's collection. And that happens every now and then. Or you'll snag, sometimes I'll hear about, because the horror community here in Kansas City's big. Sometimes I'll hear about it early, sometimes I'll hear about it late. Like, oh, a big horror collection is up for grabs at XYZ store, and I'll go, and it'll oftentimes be somewhat picked over, but I'll grab 1 or 2 because, like, I'm also not trying to have a crazy big VHS collection. Right. Because I would rather have it in the higher formats most of the time, but they take up so much physical space that if I'm going to buy something on VHS, it's not all going to be like, oh, the best movies. Usually it's going to be like fun genre stuff, so not like any old thing.
Yeah, because I think more was probably available on VHS even than it is now on DVD and Blu-ray.
Well, in some stuff I would get on VHS because there aren't good Blu-rays of some of these titles.
Yeah, I know.
I have the Who Am I VHS from Jackie Chan that only just got that Arrow video upgrade.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Yeah, there's a lot in... I feel like for a long time when I was getting into especially old movies, like classic Hollywood, it felt like so much of it, like I was renting on VHS for a long time because it was like, it's just not available anywhere. And as DVD went along, I think a lot got ported there. But now even finding some of that on Blu-ray is next to impossible, or the only way you can get it.
Those are hard.
Yeah.
But I mean, a lot of the stuff I have is like fun genre, like your Star Wars, or your Nightmare on Elm Streets, or
Yeah.
I've got all the Planet of the Apes and
Hmm.
Evil
Yeah.
Deads, and just fun stuff to watch.
Yeah. Stuff that's nostalgic for that time, for sure.
Yeah.
And I may, we've already talked a bit about boutique labels, and yeah, you mentioned at one point in time having been on the movie draft podcast doing a Criterion Collection draft. So
That was
I think
fun.
I know the answer. Yeah, it was a very fun episode to listen into for sure. And so I think I know the answer to this, obviously being a Criterion collector myself. But it sounds like that's something that you enjoy doing some collecting for.
Oh yeah, no, I'm a big boutique collector. Like Criterion is definitely like the OG. They
Yeah.
were the ones that kind of set the standard. They still do a lot of incredible work. Sometimes I feel like they're a little lazy, and we all call them out on it. But it's still such an incredible legacy, and they still put out amazing stuff. Like they reignited their Eclipse set several months ago, kicking off with that
Yes.
Kiarostami set. They've got the
Very happy
Lubitsch
about that.
stuff. Pardon me, like I'm still very delighted with the work they're doing. But then you have folks like Vinegar Syndrome that we mentioned doing the like the exploitation-y side of things.
Yep.
But then also like Radiance and Deaf Crocodile bringing forgotten things back into the canon. Or I think Radiance is probably the one doing the most of like bringing things genuinely back into the canon, like discussions
Yeah.
going, these are great movies that got, and then also Deaf Crocodile. I love the work that Deaf Crocodile is doing, particularly in the field of animation. But I've mostly checked out their animation offerings, but there's a few, or the Iranian, I'm blanking on his name now. They had a set, and then he just did Black Rabbit, White Rabbit.
Oh, I remember seeing that. Yeah, I'm drawing a blank.
And then with Dead Mountaineers Motel that we talked about, that will coming soon on Rewind and Revive.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love what Deaf Crocodile is doing so much.
Deaf Crocodile is one I'm really intrigued to check out. It's one that I don't have anything from as of yet. Radiance, I do. I kind of discovered Radiance earlier this year, or a little bit late last year.
Radiance
early
is
this
incredible.
year.
What do you got from them?
So I have the Cosa Nostra box set, the
Gorgeous set. I
Damiani
think it's
stuff. Incredible
somewhere
stuff.
back there.
Yeah, it's odd, absolutely awesome. Like,
Yeah, it's the bottom one right there.
nice. Yeah, it's good. The Tale of Sorrow and Sadness, the Seiya Suzuki, which is wild. I love his stuff, and it was really, really well done. And Malpertuis, which we also mentioned as well, that I got turned on to from the Rewind and Revive episode, and Japanese Organized Crime Boss, the
Nice.
Fukusaki. Again, another thing in like the Japanese Yakuza film sort of thing that
They do a lot of good
Yeah.
Asian crime movies, or just like crime movies. They do a lot of Italian crime movies and French crime. Like I love all their world noir sets. I need to pre-order the 5th one.
Yep. Yeah, I'm everything I've watched so far has been incredible. So they're definitely on my radar to keep collecting more of for sure. And with them, I have a couple of places locally I might be able to find them, but for the most part, I'm looking online to grab stuff, which I think most of us are probably doing more these
It's
days
true.
than we would. I mean, it'd be nice to have a store to be able to find everything in and go into, but
I mean, there are some cool stores that are popping up again, which I love to see. But yeah, I don't think we have any great ones here. We have plenty of secondhand ones, but I don't like, because I know Vinegar Syndrome has a few pop-ups, and
I
other
actually went to
places
their
like
one
that.
I went to their store in Toronto, their permanent store,
Nice.
when I was at TIFF last year, and it was such a cool experience. And they actually do a very good job of not only their stuff and the partner label stuff, but also just like a wall of like brand new Arrow, brand new A24.
People
brand
crave
new
it. We
Criterion.
we want that.
Yeah, it's great. It's nice to see that it's kind of doing. And then now I think they've expanded. Now I think they're in Pittsburgh, and they're in Denver and Connecticut. Like I wouldn't be surprised if we saw even more of that kind of popping up from them.
I love one here in Kansas City. I'd take one.
Hey, man, so we got Denver's more on the west. You can get one. Right in
And
the
with
middle.
that, I heard when you make purchases there, you get points on your Vinegar Syndrome account.
You do, and I actually got some points. I mentioned the Calgary Underground Film Festival. Vincent came to the festival and set up a pop-up table at one of the
Nice.
cinemas here, and I went and grabbed a couple of things that I was looking for, and I actually grabbed one for Dakota, who was my first guest. Got a Canadian film for him that we were both really
Okay,
enjoying.
so if I don't want to hijack your show here.
No,
What are
no.
some of the Canadian international picture releases that you would recommend? Because
Ooh.
I got one or two.
Okay. Being that you're in the horror area of things, they do have, because most of what CIP tends to do
I like
is stuff
everything.
from, yeah. So I'll segment a couple of them, but like they typically have a lot of stuff kind of from the 60s to the 80s and a little bit later on. I did just pick up one, and I haven't watched it yet, but I've heard really good things, called Cannibal Girls, which
Oh
is
yeah.
directed by Ivan Reitman, who would go on to do Ghostbusters, and stars Eugene Levy in a supporting role in a full 70s like mustache, big glasses. It just
Nice.
looks hilarious. Horror movie wise, there's a couple of interesting ones. There's one called Ghost Keeper that's kind of in the like Canadian tax haven era of kind of creating low budget horror, which is really interesting.
I love
There's
some low budget horror.
yeah, there's some really fun. So there's a trio of films that they're not horror necessarily, but they're kind of low budget crime thrillers, by a really well known Canadian director named Denis Arcand, who won a Best International Feature Oscar in like 2002, I think. But these three early ones, there's one called Dirty Money, one called Gina, and the other one called Région Padavani, and they're all basically like Quebecois kind of tales of like the mafia or organized crime in Quebec, which are really
Okay.
quite good, really engaging. They do some really fun documentaries. They do a lot of work with the National Film Board of Canada to kind
I
of
love that.
do,
I wish we
yeah,
funded our arts better here.
yeah.
Okay, the two I have are The Mob and The Hard Part Begins.
Okay, The Hard Part Begins is really good as well. It's very different. It's about a country musician in like rural Ontario that's kind
Yeah,
of
it looked great.
a little past its prime. It's a pretty legendary Canadian movie. There's a couple of really good documentaries. One's called The Devil at Your Heels, which is all about basically the Canadian Evil Knievel, who is trying to do the most ridiculous car jump stunt like of all time. It's ridiculous enough that they brought Evil Knievel in, and he said even I wouldn't do this.
Oh boy.
So it's just this documentary following him trying to put this stunt on and get it on TV, which is pretty wild. My personal favorite is a drama called Orders, which is one that's based on a time in Quebec specifically, but in Montreal, around kind of our one really big like political. I don't know what you would call it necessarily. We had something called the FLQ crisis, where there was a separatist group in Quebec that kidnapped a couple of politicians and were trying to hold them to like get demands held because they wanted to separate from Canada. And they ended up killing one of the local Quebec politicians. And basically they enacted this not War Act measures, but basically declared martial law in Montreal for a short period of time in the early 70s. And
Huh.
this movie takes place during that session where like martial law has basically been declared because of this, and it follows about a half dozen people in Montreal that were taken in and arrested by the police and not charged but held in jail for several weeks.
Jeez.
And it's incredibly interesting. It won Best Director at Cannes in I think 1971 or 72. It's incredible. It's the one that I've watched from that I'm like, holy shit, this movie is amazing. More people should see this.
Nice. Oh, I keep thinking it's Vinegar Syndrome. It's actually Severin. The other one that I really love is Siege.
Okay, tell me about Siege. I'm not as familiar.
So I don't know when this episode's going to publish, but it's also one I try to get any cool local cinemas that I have relationships with to program during Pride Month.
Right.
It's like a very Carpenter-esque. It's clearly influenced by John Carpenter. It is an underground gay bar is attacked by these fascists. Many people are murdered. One guy gets away, and he escapes into this apartment building, and he's basically holed up in the apartment building with these like good Samaritans, and they're trying to keep him alive through the night.
Mm-hmm.
It's very good.
Nice. Well, I'm gonna have to look that one up. Yeah, it is coming out in June, so happy Pride to everyone. There's actually, and speaking of that, there is one very good. Well, there's more than one on CIP, but they have a pretty well-known early gay film called Winter Kept Us Warm that actually was put out in the 60s while homosexuality was still against the law in Canada, like in the early mid 60s. It's filmed at a university in Toronto that a lot of the filmmakers actually knew David Cronenberg. It's one of the reasons that Cronenberg actually got into making movies is he saw like some of his peers and acquaintances making this film and seeing it like actually get a release and going like, I could do that. But it's incredible. It's about
Shivers is very aware.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, there's a whole through line through I think most of Cronenberg's discography that goes that way. But yeah, it is also incredible. They've been kind of making a bit of a theatrical tour the last couple of years with the restoration for Winter Kept Us Warm. So that's also one I would completely recommend. It's excellent.
I'm also every month waiting for CIP to put out I Like Movies because I'd really like to own that.
I feel like that's a no-brainer, and I wouldn't doubt if it's in the pipeline because they do tend to do some good documentaries. They did one relatively recently that I have but haven't seen yet called Vinyl, which is all about like vinyl record collectors. I Like Movies is
fiction.
Oh,
what about the kid in the video store?
Very different. That's right. Oh, I was thinking
Chandler Levick's directorial debut.
Yes. Oh yeah. No, because
she's got two movies out now. She's got one on Netflix and then one in theaters.
Yes, which is Myland Kicks, which my wife and I saw.
Myland Kicks, and then I think it's called Roommates is the Netflix one.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't seen either. Excited for both. I loved I Like Movies, and we actually covered that with the female lead of the movie on our show.
Oh, very fun. That's fun. I'm going to have to check out that episode for sure.
It's a great, great, great movie. And it's one that I tell, like, if you're new to liking movies or if you've liked them for a long time, like, it's such a fun, tender, funny, coming-of-age story about, like, a 90s kid coming to his own as a cinephile. And basically, like, I think it's not based on a real place, but, like, a Canadian blockbuster.
Yeah, probably something that I would recognize for sure. So very cool.
So good.
Nice. You pointed out the shelf behind you, the big your overstock, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you have probably a different and maybe larger shelf somewhere else in.
So
in your
inside
house.
here is a case that like the doors both have shelves, and then inside their shelves, but also I got stacks here and stacks there. Like it's just a little bit of an unorganized basement.
Oh,
and then over there I have a lot of my Asian stuff and all of my complete television series on Blu-ray and DVD, which take a lot of space on their own.
Yeah.
And I'm like, which do I really want to keep all these? And I'm like, I don't know if I really want to get rid of any of these though.
Purging is always, it's a hard but necessary thing sometimes. That
it's true.
It's never fun to go through, but then after you go through it, you kind of go like, oh, this was kind of a good idea.
Or like some of these individual releases that are amazing, but like one movie. Like, do you have anything from Imprint?
I do not yet. No, I've seen a bunch of their stuff.
I will say a lot of their stuff, I like them a lot, but because of what they do and how they do it, a lot of their stuff is not essential because they're not usually premiering anything, and anything they premiere, it's not usually in the highest quality, but like they do make amazing things, but they do send us stuff sometimes. One of my favorite movies, Raging Bull, but this is one film.
Yeah, that's something I've noticed. There's one store locally that does carry some Imprint stuff, and that's the thing I've noticed, being like, man, these look great.
I love that it's got the different discs and the big booklet. It's amazing. I'm probably going to keep it because it's one of my favorite movies, but I'm like, what? One movie takes up so much room.
Yeah, that is something that I think is I actually find that also about some of the like the Arrow limited stuff. Like there's been a
Yeah.
few Arrow releases that I'm like, I really love like the film Witness. But
Sure.
do I need a
Do you need the
box
big
of
one?
Witness? Probably not. The only Arrow that I have a big box of is The Apartment, which is one of my
A
probably
great
three or
one.
four favorite films
Well,
of
and
all time.
see, for like 6 months when they came out with New York, New York, they were the only one. But
Yeah.
now it's like a Kino 4K. It doesn't have everything that the imprint has. I'm going to keep the imprint New York, New York. But then like they keep coming out with more.
They
But it's
do.
also Scorsese, which like has a special place in my heart.
Yes, yeah, for sure. And I mean, shelf space is always. I think if you collect anything, shelf space is always one of those like
It
delicate
is.
balances. The yeah, that and that, and I mean, and organization, which
True.
I know I've gone through several different ways of organizing things, with to the point where I think my wife can find some things now. Other things she's like, where the hell is this movie? I don't know.
Oh, we
I
just
don't know
had that
how often you
conversation
find
when
that,
they
but
wanted to watch kid stuff the other day.
there you go. Do you have anything as far as like what you do collecting wise that maybe is something that you're like, oh, this is my own little personality quirk coming out in my collecting?
I mean, there's only so many ways to really like organize things. Like I think there are only two like directors that have like special sections of my collection and shelf space, like
Right.
directly for them. Scorsese's one of my favorites. I should just own more of his stuff now that Criterion's put everything out. I'm buying some of them slowly.
Yep.
So like there's two directors, Samuel Fuller and John Carpenter, that have their own spots in my
Nice.
collection, because I have near every Carpenter, and I think I have all the Sam Fullers that are out.
Yeah.
Talked about, maybe we'll hit this later, a couple of Sam Fullers I would love to see get restored and actually have nice editions out. And then inspired by Deaf Crocodile, I've really gotten into world animation, so I also have like an animation section, like non-Disney, like
Yeah.
serious cinema animation section. Like I have the Ghibli stuff in there, not in my like Disney kid section.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I have my two directors, my animation, and then actually no, that's not true. I also have like, because now they're coming out with all the Hong Kong stuff, and I have
Yeah, the
also
Golden
had a lot of
Princess
stuff
stuff,
for
yeah.
years, like from 88 Films and Golden Harvest and all these companies. Like I do have, and that's not quite as, because some stuff's here and there, but I have a lot of like my martial arts and ninja and samurai, like my Asian action movie
Yeah.
section.
Nice. Yeah, I don't have a section necessarily, but I do in my mind have like, hey, I'm trying to collect, like Billy Wilder's kind of it for me. Like I have everything from Kubrick, which I think a lot of people do, and it's not that difficult because he
Yeah, it's
doesn't
like
have a
10.
huge discography. But like Billy Wilder is a bit of a crazy one.
He's got a lot.
He's got a lot, and they're kind of disparate and all over, and some of them are out of print, and some
I
of them
kind
are
of
only
love
on one
that.
format or
Like
another.
my Fuller shelf, I've got darn near every boutique label.
Yeah, I love Sam Fuller. That'd be fun to look through, because anything I've watched of his, I'm like, yes,
The
more, please.
greatest. And I also have a lot of, but like Sam Fuller is like my guy. So I
Yeah.
have almost all his movies, and then I have books he's written, books about him. Like I have kind of like a whole Fuller deal.
I love so there's this great special feature on an Indicator release that I have, which is, I think it's called, is it Invasion USA? Is that one of one
Just the
that's on there?
unedited tapes
Yeah.
with him in. Yeah.
Oh my God. Like you could put that on, and like I could do a 6-hour road trip driving,
The best.
just listening to him
The
like riff
best.
on the
Love what Indicator did there.
Yeah, he's such a fun personality that just like, yeah, I could just listen. I kind of think Billy Wilder's the same. Like he has 8 hours worth of stories that he'd be more than happy to tell you on, like just roll the film and he'll have you in stitches. So that's
Yep.
quite fun. You talked about Scorsese and purchasing some of the stuff that you really love. Do you have like maybe something in your physical media collecting that you're like, maybe right now looking to focus on, or like, oh, I really don't have much of this and I do really like it and I would like to get more of?
Well, I mean, right now it really is global animation, particularly Deaf Crocodile, but there are a lot of people putting out, or that have put out, very cool things. And Deaf Crocodile, their releases will also lead me to other, like those directors or people that worked with them, some of their other work. So I've been collecting a lot of that and just having a great time with it.
Nice. Yeah, I've seen a few. I think I saw a big flurry of reviews and Letterboxd reviews for. And I'm gonna get the title wrong of this one, but I think, is it Lesbian Space Princesses? That was one of the
Yeah.
Deaf Crocodile ones. Yeah,
No, that's not a
like.
Deaf Crocodile. That's just a new animated film.
Okay, so that was confusing. It was something else, but is there something in what you've been discovering there that you're really like, people should really know about this or see this more often?
Okay, I don't know how edited this is, so I'm going to take a second to get this
Yeah,
right, so forgive me. Marcel Jankovic, just incredibly talented animator. I think I had heard of The Tragedy of Man and had seen some reviews when Deaf Crocodile first put that out, but I really got on it recently with Song of the Miraculous Hind that I just absolutely adored. And so I went back, I got The Tragedy of Man and Son of the White Mare, and it's just wonderful stuff. And also the Pied Piper release with all the short films from that director. So many of these international animated films, they're very creative, very beautiful and artistic, also very political and intelligent, very substantive. The brand,
Hey, there
but
you
like,
go.
just it's been so fun. And then you also have like, what's his name? Hold on. I haven't watched any of them yet, but I've started the Plimpton stuff. Like I'm collecting a few of those
Yes.
and gonna watch through. Like he's a very like pop art, horny weirdo.
Yeah.
Maybe not
I
quite like Felix the Cat style, but
yeah. I
somewhat
Bill
in that neighborhood maybe.
at one point the Criterion Channel had a bunch of Bill Plimpton stuff that I went through, and I'm like, this is wild and hilarious, and I really quite like this.
So I've purchased a few of them at some point. When I finish some of the other ones, I'm going to go through that. Also, no, so what really got me into it was their Treasures of Soviet Animation sets, which
Okay,
are
I have seen this one,
gorgeous
yeah.
and amazing. And most of the Deaf Crocodile stuff, I own the standards because you're getting almost the exact same thing, but these are the only ones that, and Deaf Crocodile sends me some stuff, but these I'm paying
Right.
for myself so that I can get the nice like box art and the
Yeah.
booklets, and these are incredible. These are really
Nice.
incredible, and I love them very much, and they look amazing on the shelf.
Yes. Oh, that's fun. I need to, like I said, I need to check it out. Knowing that you're kind of doing an animation dive, and we talked about it, now I'm re-hijacking it with Canadian International Pictures.
No, do it.
They have a really fun collection called Animation Night in Canada Volume
Oh,
1.
really?
Yep. And
I'm looking that up right now.
it's all animated shorts from the National Film Board of Canada that
That sounds
all
amazing.
won an Oscar for best animated short. And like
Okay.
the film board is the two things the National Film Board of Canada
Sadly,
is really
sold
known
out of
for.
slip covers.
Yes, but they think they've got the standard editions in it.
As of recording, there's only 57 left. I don't have an active order right now, but
Well, there
should
you go.
I might check also eBay, because okay, so this is another collector thing. For the longest time, I could take or leave slip covers. Probably a lot of that was because
Yep.
they were studio ones and they didn't mean anything, like they weren't special. But now, like, I don't have to have them. But we actually had Justin LaLiberty from Vinegar Syndrome on the show talking
Yep.
Team America World Police for our April Fool's episode, which was a blast.
Yeah.
But they put a lot of thought into, and they pay really wonderful artists to create these unique things it's hard to miss out on sometimes.
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same way. Like most slipcovers that you would see, you're right, are just the kind of flimsy, whatever, and they look exactly the same as the artwork that's in the inside of the plastic. I actually think Vincent and the partner stuff they do with OCN, like that's honestly the gold standard for slipcovers. Like,
hard
they're so
agree.
nice and thick. The art's always really interesting. Even the boxes that they do, like my Flesh for Frankenstein, the Paul Morrissey film that I got from Vinegar Syndrome, big box, like just a really, really high quality stuff. And I'm not typically somebody that would go in and be like, I can kind of take or leave that. And I think the vast majority of the Vinegar Syndrome and partner stuff I now have, like, if I can find a slipcover, that would be nice.
It always sucks when you miss it. And I'm pissed about it because I know they monkey with the numbers a little bit on the website, because you go to their pop-ups and you go to their stores and they freaking have them.
Yes,
I pre-ordered Hundreds of Beavers like 25 minutes after it was up, and I didn't get a slipcover. And now they have a volume 2, like a new slipcover that, let me add that to an order for like $3, $4. Like, sell it to me by itself.
I know. Well, I did grab one from their pop-up. I will say that. The secondary one, the one with the like.
Well, shipping is so crazy. I was gonna say, if you see an animation night in Canada with the slipcover,
yeah, I'll keep my eyes peeled. Let me check locally, because there's one place that does get some of that stuff in. But yeah, I'll have a look for you for sure.
I've got some friends. No, that looks amazing. I will one way or the other get my hands on that.
Yeah, it's great, and it honestly, like, the gamut of styles of animation that it runs is absolutely wild. Like, everything from, like, watercolor painted animation to, like, Bill Plimpton style, very basic stuff that's there for the gags. It's a great set for sure.
I love that. I haven't cracked it yet, but I'm also very excited for Radiance's Essential Polish animation as well.
Yes, that looks very, very cool too. Is that one is it a Region A one, or is that one that's overseas and I would have to get a Region 3 player for?
I think you can get. Oh no, it is. So you guys are Region A too, right?
Yes, we are.
Yeah, no, it's Region A.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I saw it and I was like, yes, this is something I'm interested. This is the problem with this hobby, Philip.
It's true. But I heavily utilize the library system as well.
So I actually wanted to ask you about that, because you, so we're on a Discord server with set up by Andrew from Revisionist Almanac, which is where we've been able to share a bunch of physical media stuff on there. And I need to do better with my local public library, because I feel like it's an untapped resource that a lot of people don't utilize. So tell me a bit about like how much you're able to find locally to be able to see from them.
So I purchase stuff pretty regularly. Mm-hmm. I'm blessed to be on a few lists where people send me stuff or give me the option to send me stuff. But then also, here in Kansas City, we have like 3 or 4 great library systems. Mm-hmm. But a number of years ago, the librarian taught me about what's called interlibrary loan. I don't know if you guys have that, but like...
We do, yeah.
All of the libraries, like different libraries have different criteria. Like I think there are 2 libraries that have like healthy Blu-ray selections, but everything else is DVD. But if you go on interlibrary loan, some places have 4Ks, like Severin's, all the Haunts BRs, like full core, like the big thick boy. Like I got that on interlibrary loan. It's like a $150 set. I got for 2 weeks for free. Like, nice. Get a library card, talk to a librarian, get out there, help them circulate. Like, they spend money. Like, these are our tax dollars. Like, you've already paid for it. You don't have to pay for it twice. But some of the stuff I absolutely want to own. But some of it, it's nice that, I'm like, okay, if there's an initial run on the sales and, like, I spent all my money on the previous sale, because it feels like there's a sale every other freaking week.
Yeah.
And I can't do them all. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go on interlibrary loan. And in a couple weeks, I usually get just about everything I want to see, even like brand new stuff or old stuff or out of print stuff. It's pretty great.
Yeah, I need to explore it a lot more because I know the public library here in Calgary is, from what I've seen looking online, it can be pretty stacked, but even the interlibrary loan thing, that didn't even click in until you said it, and I went, oh yeah, yeah, we do that. Yeah, that's
It's
amazing.
the best.
Yeah, no, that is great, and kind of, I mean, closes a bit of the gap of, taking the plunge on. I love blind buying stuff as much as the next person, but when you're diving in for an expensive set, it can be a little bit of a tougher sell. But if you're able to find something like that to see it in advance and go, oh yeah, I would absolutely look for this.
Exactly. And then you can wait for a sale without feeling like it's too okay. Here we go. Animation Night in Canada. 19 different libraries have it on their shelf. I'm
Look
going to
at
get
that.
one.
This is in real time, man.
There
I
we
love it.
go.
That's great.
Send it to
Um,
me.
So, we talk a bit about things getting released all the time, and new stuff coming out and getting, even today actually we texted a bit on Instagram about the news about Manhunter getting the 4K
Oh, so exciting.
restoration that's going to make the rounds. Actually, Dakota, on my first episode of this, when I asked him this question, his most anticipated was like Manhunter. So maybe we're potentially speaking things into existence by
I'm so
asking this
mad.
question.
I'm so mad. I'm so excited about the new one. I missed out
Yeah.
on the Blu-ray because I was like, I'm not going to spend 25 bucks on it. I'm going to wait till it goes on sale.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if I missed a sale, but the Shout Blu-ray went out of print so fast. Forget
Hmm.
getting a slipcover edition. I couldn't get any edition for like under
Yeah.
75 bucks. So I'm still rocking my Manhunter DVD. I think also have that one on VHS, but it's a favorite of mine, and I can't
Yeah.
wait to get a really great edition of it.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that one as well. So in that same vein, is there something out there that either is really hard to find or maybe hasn't been issued that you're like really waiting for, and like the second it gets announced you're going to be on it?
Well, I mean, my Criterion answer, right? I mean, there's so many that I
Hmm.
want, especially like the streaming movies
Hmm.
that will not exist if they don't have physicals, and
Yeah.
Criterion in particular has done a great. So like with the Criterion streamings, every month I'm like, why hasn't Spike Lee's Defy Bloods been announced?
Yeah.
Um, Also, Assassination of Jesse James. There's like a crappy studio
Hmm.
Blu-ray. That's fine. That's
Yeah.
good. I like it a lot. But as far as boutique stuff, Sam Fuller's my guy. Thieves After Dark is an incredible movie, and
Yeah.
it's got less than 300 letterbox logs.
Oh,
There's
interesting.
a crappy scan on rarefilm.com that I've watched, and it's great. But like that
Yeah.
is ripe for a Radiance release to bring back into um, the collector's ability to see.
Yeah. I half wonder with the return of Eclipse if they Criterion might make a play, because they do have a really nice
Or
scent
Criterion.
color Eclipse
They've got a
there.
lot.
Yeah.
And then I would also say Tinikling, because that, or the Madonna and the Dragon, that's got just over 100 reviews. I've seen a very terrible scan of that, and that's probably the hardest Sam Fuller to find. I like These After Dark much better, but
Hmm.
Tinikling is also very good. Also, in all of the Sam Fuller documentaries, like they play clips from it, so they've got the reels somewhere. Someone
It's out
has
there,
them.
yeah.
Literally, there's 107 letterbox logs of this film,
Yeah, that
and
shouldn't happen for somebody like Sam
that's
Fuller.
embarrassing. But yeah,
Yeah.
those are the two big ones: Tinikling and Thieves After Dark for him, that aren't available. Everything else is pretty, which is amazing
Hmm.
because that was not the
Yeah.
case for a long, long time.
Yeah, I feel
Also, I
like he's
guess
somebody.
Run of the Arrow, because there's just that Warner Classics DVD.
Yeah.
Run of the Arrow is not on Blu-ray yet, and that should be at least on
Yeah.
Blu-ray. Not everything has to be 4K. I get with the
Hmm.
cost and all that. Give me a Warner Classics Blu-ray with like Care and Love. I'd love a special feature. I don't need it. Just give me a better version of that too.
Yeah. I agree. I recently one of my first reviews on the ContraZoom Pod website. I did the Tea and Sympathy Blu-ray for the
Okay.
Warner Archive put out relatively recently, and it was only available before on a Warner Archive, I think, on-demand DVD years and years ago,
Yeah.
and it's like that's a film that is like I think is so underseen and is probably one of the more talked about films because it's, a really big, you know, gay film from a very early time and is, heavily featured in like a documentary like The Celluloid Closet and in all of this literature about like the evolution of queer characters in movies over the years. And it just like had a MOD DVD and that was it, and just having a Blu-ray of it, and it's a Vincent Minnelli film. It looks phenomenal, like
Yeah.
widescreen Technicolor, like that. That's
Warner
great.
Archive does a great job with their restorations. I wish
They do.
somebody would give them a couple bucks for special features, but again, yeah, Fuller's work, I want to see as much of it preserved as possible, and thankfully a
Yeah,
lot of it is.
yeah, agreed. I would be with you there for sure. Um, is there something that you like? And I know with your podcast, you like I said, you talk a lot about movies, but you you have topics that kind of range about a lot of different things that come into it. Do you find that in doing that podcast and talking movies and other things, is there like part of your collecting that you kind of like take inspiration from with the things you chat about on the substance or the people you talk to or the topics you talk about?
Well, actually, because so many, not studios, because so many labels rather, are doing great work, like they help point me into nice directions because sometimes, particularly with folks like Radiance and sometimes Vinegar Syndrome and their sub labels or Deaf Crocodile, they'll put out things that weren't on my radar very much, and then the the brilliant people who they hire to do special features, I've had a number of those folks on the show as well. So I'll see, okay, like who did they hire to do the commentary? Who did they hire to do the 20-minute video essay as like the star supplemental feature? And you'd be like, okay, like I'll go to their profile or I'll read some of their writing or I'll see we have a ton of mutuals in common, and that's how I've gotten some guests. I'm hoping to that Boxcar Bertha cinematograph is
Yes.
gorgeous,
Hmm.
and I'm hoping to get some of the people involved with those special features on our episode for the show.
That's amazing. I Cinematograph was one I just recently did an episode about and was absolutely loved everything I
Incredible
checked
line.
out from that.
Justin is doing amazing work.
Yeah.
Also, Justin's a big Fuller fan. Um,
Hmm.
what is that one? I've only seen it once. The Street. What was it called? There's a DV Street of No Return. That one I would not be shocked if Justin put out
Hmm.
a 4K of, because that's also a great movie, and it's I think it was like partially a French production, but Fuller's American. The movie's very
Yeah.
American,
Hmm.
um, and I think it kind of fits within cinematograph. I don't necessarily expect it, but if it did, I would be over the moon. I would
Yeah.
be pestering him to get to contribute. One of my goals for this year and next year is to be contributing more myself to those special
Mm.
features, be it essays, commentary tracks, visual essays, what have you.
Nice. Yeah, I like that. My, so my wife and I also do a movie podcast together called I Can't Believe You Haven't Seen. And we just did an episode about Norma Ray, which I got on my physical media soapbox for because it's out of print and there is no reason that that film should be out of print. Like it hasn't been for years, but now it's 20th Century Fox. And so we even jokingly were like, "Hey, Fox, if you're putting, we'll license this episode to you.
There you go.
Like, we'll do something about that. Just like get it out so people
I
can
mean, my
see this
buddy
movie."
Mike over at the projection booth has basically had the audio rips from his podcast as special features on various discs.
Yeah, there was one on one of the cinematograph ones. I had this Swimming to Cambodia, the Spalding Gray monologue that there was a couple of not Pure Cinema, I'm forgetting the name of it now, but it was 2 episodes where they talked specifically with Jonathan Demme, who directed it.
Yeah.
And it was just like, yeah, this is
love
great.
it.
We should do more of this. Yeah, no, and hey, I don't know if anybody's listening from. We gave Deaf Crocodile and Canadian International a bunch of press. If you wanna jump on this, guys, just let us know. We're here.
Yes, for real. Call me though when you put
Yeah.
out I Like Movies. I'd love to contribute to that.
For sure, absolutely. This was lovely.
Thanks for inviting me, Matt. I appreciate it, man.
Pretty sure we'd go on for another 3 hours with this.
Yep.
But we'll save everybody from that. But yeah, thank you for taking the time to chat today. Give where can everybody find you, as far as you mentioned the podcast? Anywhere else where people can find your stuff?
Yeah, you can find The Substance is the name of the podcast wherever you listen. We are at The Substance Pod on Instagram and maybe Blue Sky, or maybe it's just me. I don't know. But I'm also Philip Marinello, just my name, Philip with 1 L, Marinello on Letterboxd.
Amazing. Yeah, it's podcast is great. I can testify to that. I now have more, but I can go discover about it. So thank you for pointing me in that direction.
And if you love physical media, I'll shout them out. My buddies, these are personal friends of mine, have a new show called Blind Buys.
Ooh.
And I joined them to talk about a movie. That was Sam Fuller's, actually, Dead Pigeon on Beethoven Street. I just had it on my stack for a long time, never watched it. And then I also did a Chasing Labels unwatched pile as well. And I think I did the Arrow release of The Tin Star. I'm a big Western guy too. The Westerns don't have their own section there in there, but I went hard over the last 2 or 3 years on the Arrow sales. Like, I didn't spend it all at once, but I've got, I think, all of the spaghetti Westerns and most of the American Westerns from Arrow, and all the ones that I've seen are great.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to getting through the rest.
Excellent. Yeah, I agree with you there. So all of those and an upcoming feature on a Sam Fuller special features near you, speaking it into existence for you.
Boom.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Philip. And have a great rest of your night.
You too, man. Thanks.
Take care. Thank you again to Philip Marinello from the Substance Podcast for joining me for a collector conversation on this episode. It was an absolute blast to have a chat with Philip. He has really gotten me kind of going on a few levels. Actually, fully inspired me to finally go and get my membership to my local public library, which I can get in on the library movie rental game, as well as a Canopy subscription. So thanks for helping me out with that, Philip, and also for giving me a bit of a lowdown on specifically the Deaf Crocodile label, which is one I am very, very interested to check out. And please definitely check out the Substance Podcast and everything that Philip shouted out as well. He's a great follow on Instagram and really excellent podcast. For if you want to continue to see what's coming up next with the Cinema on a Shelf episodes and podcasts, I'll shout out all of my usuals. I have my Instagram at Cinema on a Shelf and my Letterboxd account for myself personally, which I am, my username's at Maddie236. I love to have people following there and following them back to see what you all are watching as well. If you do want to chat movies and just want to send an email my way, my email is cinemaonashelf@gmail.com. And I do also do another movie podcast that I co-host with my wife, Jess, called I Can't Believe You Haven't Seen, where we go back and forth watching movies that one or the other of us has never seen. Our most recent episode was about the Paul Thomas Anderson classic film Boogie Nights from the late 90s, which was my wife's first time seeing and was really fun to have a conversation about. So yeah, it is on there as well, and also on all sorts of social medias. For the next episode of Cinema on a Shelf, we are going to be doing a little bit of a label spotlight on a very popular physical media label, one that has been around for some time in various capacities, and one that releases a whole lot of movies. And we're going to be talking about Kino Lorber in the next episode. So thank you once again for tuning in. Thank you again for Philip Marinello coming on the podcast, and we'll see you on the next episode. Take care.